Hello, investors. It's Connor Bates, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Tuesday, June 24th, 4:46 p.m. Eastern Time, coming to you with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. Market state still in an uptrend since those fall through days. And if we take a look at the GROTECTION gauge over here on the right side of the screen, market leaders, green arrow in an uptrend, continue to show strength across the board. Short term, that power trend stays alive above the 21 EMA, medium term above the 50-day moving average, and then long term trading above the 200-day moving average and starting to get that full bullish alignment of the moving averages. And that consists of the 8, 21, 50, 200, all sloping up in unison, rising above each other. What happened today? Well, we got a gap up and trend day up on the Israel and Iran ceasefire and some really strong closes across the board. 21 over 21 list was up 2.61%, 16 green, 5 red. Coinbase was the big winner today, up nearly double digits. I'll have to double check when we get into the 21 over 21. Turbo 12 up 1.35%. 6 green, 6 red. Big 8 up 0.94%. RG8 up 1.42%. S&P up 1.11. RSP up 0.95. QQQ up 1.52. Equate up 1.75. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 1.19. Mid caps up 0.92. Russell 2000 up 1.27. 60/40 stock and bond up 1.09. Flagship portfolio GROTECTION up 1.57%. TurboTection up 1.37% on the day. Let's get into the interasset correlation and S&P 500. We were talking about this 7-8 day consolidation range here and resolving to the upside through 6,000, closing at high day on the catalyst with the ceasefire. So 61.47 is the next level, previous all-time highs. And again, absolutely nothing bearish with this chart right now, rising above the 8 and the 21, back above 6,000. So next level resistance is the 61.47, previous all-time high. Equate, again, good to see some broad participation coming into the market. RSP starting to break through this 180 shelf, and again, breaking out of this 8-day range. Q's new all-time high close. 54.81, that's the next level. That's the all-time highs, but today was an all-time high close. And again, awesome action coming out of this eight-day range and closing near the highs of the day. I'll just bring up an intraday, right? Gapped up on the ceasefire news and just a beautiful trend up all day. Mag 7, good to see the med caps participating, continuing breaking out of this flag. Dow Jones back above the 200-day and breaking this downtrend line. You'll see that's a similar mid caps trying to get back above the 200-day moving average, and that is, really bullish to see. If we start seeing, mid caps, Russell 2000, start to see these get into gear. Breadth is just going to expand exponentially. Russell 2000 coming into the 200-day moving average arc. Maybe it's Kathy Wood summer. Didn't even pause at this 68.43 previous left side high, just continued higher. Short term, obviously this is a little bit extended, but again, this is a good indicator of risk on, risk off, and another new closing 52-week closing high for Kathy Wood. FFTY continue up the right side, good action in leaders. VIX getting hit again, living below 20. That's good. The ATR, the S&P 500 is contracting. It's at 1.05% now. So good to see that smooth trend in the indexes with leaders outperforming. The dollar looks like it's about to break lower. Just no bid whatsoever. The dollar continues to plummet. Gold stocks sitting at the 50-day here. GDX as well rejected these previous highs, coming back, trying to put a hammer here at 50-day. Silver pulling back to the 21. Bitcoin, really nice UNR of the 50-day moving average and this 57.70 low, and then now coming back in. So maybe this was the shakeout that it needed before breaking through this 61.75 level. That'd be good to see. Bonds starting to firm back up, which means rates are coming lower. BNB above the 200-day. TLT trying to, carve a little bottom right here. And rates heading lower. So if we start to see rates break down, that's going to be good for small caps, other rate sensitive sectors like biotech, Let's just take a look while we're here. See, kind of looks similar to IWM, but again, flag break. See if it can maybe rally up into the 200-day ITB home builders. Again, this is another rate sensitive sector, and we've traded now in the past, which is the three times home builder ETF, and that tends to move quite a lot when rates come down. But again, more of a bottom feeding setup, but this is worth the watch. Built some higher lows here, has a power of three. You can see all the moving averages are quite coiled up here, and it's got a downtrend line. So perhaps this breaks out, has a trip to the 200-day moving average, but again, with rates coming lower, these sectors should shine. Alrighty, that's the interesting correlation. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Um, Percent of stocks above the 5-day moving average, that is starting to get back up. So that's something to be aware of. News-wise, I mentioned it, gap up on the Israel-Iran ceasefire and continued trend day up. Keys today, watching the S&P versus the 21, good action there. Qs versus the 21, good action there. Russell closed back above the 21 and sitting right at the 200-day. And then going into Wednesday, we're going to be watching again, any pullbacks want it to be supported ideally at the 8 and then at the 21. And then again, there's the all-time high, 61.47 on the S&P, 540.81 on the Qs, and then still watching the Russell versus the 21 in the 200-day moving average. Day count from 8 days in the consolidation to up one, so out of that range, that's a really good sign. 2 days above the 8 EMA, 42 days above the 21 EMA, and that power trend is still alive. Sectors wise, semiconductors were the star of the day, really strong across the board, and I'll cover some of those charts later in the video. Jets, airlines, Carnival Cruise, they had a pretty good earnings reaction today. RCL looks good as well. Uranium up on the day, biotech with rates moving lower, tech with semiconductor strength, XLF, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, they look good. And financials are strong. The market tends to stay strong. Communications and healthcare weakness wise, XLP staples, that is again good. That tends to underperform in risk on environments. Energy, total news failure with the Israel Iran and crude oil is getting sold. And funny enough, I read some equity research this morning or positioning research from Goldman Sachs, and they said that hedge funds are overweight energy stocks but underweight tech. So it's kind of funny. And energy's just been a total laggard all year. Oil down as well, and then gold. GROTECTION today just bought NBIS 1.36 beta, 5.64% open heat. TurboTection, same deal, just bought NBIS 1.26% or 1.26 RVAB minus 4.65% open heat. Bottom line, gap up in trend day up on Israel/Iran ceasefire. All right, let's get into the charts. Start with NBIS. Again, bought this one. Big move up. This day on this volume was the $82 price target it got. Found support at the 21 day and then reclaimed this left side high and breaking this down trend line. This one looks good. New issues. Newer names have been going on really nice runs once they break out into highs. So this chart looks really good. Was the only action for GROTECTION and TurboTection today. And then on the topic, semiconductors, leading sector of the day. SOX is breaking out of this, 8-day consolidation today. But look at, across the board, NVIDIA, this is coming up into all-time highs. You have Micron, what a move off the lows. This is doubled from the lows down here, showing great RSs of late. They report earnings tomorrow, so this is one to watch for the sector. You have ASML. This is coming out of a nice bottoming base. You have Avgo, got a $400 price target this morning, and this one's coming out of a flag, looking for new all-time highs. You have ARM. This one's coming up the right side. Really good action. Let's see what else we got. We got KLC. Again, this one's right under all-time highs. Even AMD, right? Crazy to say, AMD is back above the 200-day moving average, and this one's been really, really nice since it broke through this little consolidation back above. This one's in action too. So, I just showed you a handful of charts, and that displays the strength in the overall sector. Alrighty, that is let's take a look at the 21 over 21 list. Coinbase, what a move. right after the stablecoin news, this one gapped up on huge volume, 2-day consolidation, and just a monster day, up 12%. This one looks like it's heading to 400 potentially, but again, huge volume catalyst, really nice chart here. Definitely on watch for a pullback or consolidation. And again, this one, it's technically it's not even that extended. It hasn't even taken out these IPO highs going back all the way to 2021. So, and you can even argue, this is a big inverse head and shoulders. And one thing we mentioned when this stock goes on runs, it tends to move pretty hard. We'll just take a look at, 2020, 2024, and you can see some of the really nice linear moves that it had right here, 70 to 180, 114 to 283. So, just looking at the past, when this stock starts to run, it can really run. So I thought that was worth mentioning. CRDO, really strong action after that, had a shake and bake after earnings. Another new high on this one today. NBIS, I covered. Robinhood, you know, to me, arguably the TML in the market right now, another 52-week high. And again, this one has not gotten over IPO highs going all the way back to 2021. So just really nice trend. Robinhood continues to act really well. Tempest, nice undercut and reclaim of the 21 today. Got a flag break here. Light continue higher up the right side. Nvidia covered that 153.13, the next level. Spotify, another new high hitting that profit zone, but again, nice trend, a little choppy, but has been riding the 21. DoorDash coming out of this consolidation quite nicely. 2 days up on nice volume. Palantir up the right side. Nice strong close. GEV new all-time high close. Again, back through 500. Good action there. PWR looking to break out through this 365.88 pivot. EQT, natural gas name, acting quite well, coming up the right side. Axon getting tight here at the highs. Net, closing highs looks great. VEEV, downtrend line here after this earnings gap looks good. VST, these power generation utility names still look good, trending up the riding the 8 higher. CoreWeave pulling back a little bit today. It looked like this dumped mid-afternoon. No news, but I mean, the stock is volatile, but again, that was like an 8-point dump. Maybe just a big hedge fund selling or something. But again, still hasn't even closed below the 8, just riding higher. Zscaler holding up at the highs. GDX covered that, and then Tesla pulled back today. And it's yeah, it didn't fall through after that robotaxi catalyst. But again, as long as this is coming back into the pivot, so this could be an opportunity if it holds on this pullback. Not too high a volume either. But again, see if this story starts to come alive on Tesla. Let's take a look at the Turbo 12. Sezzle. Probably if you want to go back and study what a model book earnings gapper looks, this is the one to look at. Started on its earnings gap and hasn't closed below the 21 this whole run. Hinge, new IPO, breaking out again, up 7.5%. Dave, undercut and reclaim at the 21 and falling through. Another model book earnings gapper. AAOI hanging out above the 200-day. G8s in this handle here in this cut base. Qubit, so holding above the 21, rejected the 8. LEU, just consolidating. Answer showing up on this one, letting these moving averages catch up here. Oddity, kind of breaking out of this tight little consolidation. INOD consolidating under this 50, 49.72, 50 level. Nice little base here. Lemonade, after that strong bounce off the 21, continuing higher. MP pulling back to the 8, got short-term extended, and gold pulling back. And then KTOS pulling back to the 21 after, it was a bit short-term extended. So that's that. But yeah, really good action across the 21 and the Turbo 12 list. Indexes closing at the highs, gapping out of an 8-day range. Market looks really good. VIX continues to decline. The war fear is gone with the ceasefire. So continue to take it day by day. But again, another encouraging day of action across the board in the market. And we're just going to continue letting the market guide us and trusting the trend. That is going to wrap it. As always, love to hear from you. My email is connor@revereasset.com. You can reach out to me on Twitter at connorjbates underscore, or you can call us at 855 Real Wealth, 855-732-5932. And if you're ever interested in becoming a client, there's no better time than now to become a Revere client. So as always, please reach out. Hope you guys have a good night and thanks for watching.